they saw a trend.
There were arcades popping up all over the country.
They seized an opportunity.
They could put multiple games in one cabinet and make more money off of that one cabinet.
That was a tremendous leap forward in the arcade business.
And pushed the envelope.
Another ad was an ad where it had a picture of 2 steel balls on one side. There was text that said, "You need a set of these to play one of these." And that caused a lot of controversy. The Neo Geo was just light years beyond what any other console could do.
They took their licks.
Odyssey decided to pull the plug on them. They killed us in K2000.
But kept coming back for more.
What we have done was to relaunch SNK.
This is the story of the life, death, and resurrection of SNK. It begins in Japan, at a time when arcades rule, and every gamer has a quarter in his pocket.
There were arcades popping up all over the country, and in the morning when the arcades would open, there'd be lines of people trying to get in to play Pac-Man or Space Invaders. It was a great time to get involved in this industry.
A man named Eikichi Kawasaki forms a new company called SNK.
The company was actually founded, I believe, in 1978.
SNK stands for Shin Nihon Kikaku. Shin is new, Nihon, of course, is Japan, and Kikaku, project.
The Osaka-based company wastes no time getting into the arcade business and releases Osmo Wars in 1979. Safari Rally is released in 1980, and the company makes a splash with Vanguard in 1981.
Vanguard was the space shooting game. It was very popular. It was probably our second or third game that we published here in the U.S. for the arcade.
SNK survives the crash of the arcade in the early 80s, and by 1986 it has a lineup of 23 arcade games, including Mad Crasher and Ikari Warriors.
The setting is a jungle where a plane has crashed. And the objective of the game is to defeat the gorillas while trying to escape unharmed.
Ikari Warriors was really popular for a couple of reasons. The controller was very unique. It was an 8-way joystick, but it also had the ability to rotate 360 degrees. It had the 360-degree rotation, as well as the 8-way capabilities, and nothing like that had ever been seen before. People loved it. Great game.
At that time, Rambo was very popular, and I was told to change the character to Rambo. So I had to make the upper half of the body naked and change it to a Rambo-like character.
Meanwhile, the release of the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1985 jumpstarts the home market.
Nintendo came out with their first home system, and that just blew everybody away. People were really hungry for video game content, and to be able to have it in the home at that time with the 8-bit system was just terrific.
SNK wastes no time.
We were one of the first 10 licensees from the Nintendo NES system.
One of its first console titles is also one of its most innovative.
Baseball Stars was really good. The attraction of Baseball Stars was that you can actually make your own characters in the game. This is the first baseball game that you can do that.
There was something special about the cartridge itself in that there was a battery which was installed in the cartridge that allowed you to actually trade players, make changes to your roster. That was very unique at the time of the NES age.
Arcade hits such as Ikari Warriors are also ported to the NES, and to help gamers make it through the game, a secret code is included.
Ikari Warriors was a long game. There was a lot of content, a lot of levels to get through. If you were 2/3 of the way through the game, you lost your life. In the Japanese version, you went back to the very beginning. We asked if we could simply die at that spot and then recycle to that same location and pick up at the same place. So with a code, you could do just that.
ABBA, that was one of the first sort of really cheesy continue codes. In fact, some people would argue the only way you could complete the game was by hitting ABBA to jump back in with another set of credits when you died.
For the next 3 years, SNK continues making games such as Ikari Warriors 2 and Crystallis. But the next generation of game consoles is just around the corner, and with some help from SNK, the line between home systems and arcades will be blurred forever. By 1989, SNK is an established game company with a slew of arcade hits and a successful transition to the console market. But their next project isn't just a new game, it's a whole new approach to arcade machines called the Neo Geo Multi-Video System.
The company had a tremendous opportunity when it developed the Neo Geo arcade system, which essentially said on this piece of real estate in an operator's studio, they could have a 2 or 4 multiple game unit making money on one piece of real estate, and that was a tremendous leap forward in the arcade business.
Operators could save money only having to buy games. They didn't have to buy an entirely new piece of hardware for every new game. They could put multiple games in one cabinet and make more money off of that one cabinet.
Even as the era of 16-bit console emerges, SNK has something much more powerful in mind.
At that time, we had Super Nintendo beginning, we had Sega Genesis who had entered the market. We looked at the total landscape, and we still felt that there might be a place for an exclusive, special item that brought the total arcade experience home.
The concept of the Neo Geo was to be able to play the same game software on both the arcade machine and the consumer hardware. In addition, with the changeable memory cards, there was the ability to connect between the arcade game and the consumer game. With the joysticks, we made it very much like the arcade joysticks. It's almost as if you were bringing the arcade home to the family. We made a product that no other manufacturer had.
SNK releases the Neo Geo Advanced Entertainment System in 1991. The powerful new console has a price tag of $599, $400 more than current offerings from Nintendo and Sega.
The Neo Geo home system was an incredible system. Other companies, Sega, Nintendo, NEC, they had systems that were obviously made for the consumer market. SNK just went the other route. They just made an arcade system. It's got the same chips, the same insides, the same graphics, the same sounds that you would see in the arcade version.
It wasn't mass market, and we weren't going to try to make it mass market. We never looked at it as, let's get a 50% market share and beat Nintendo. We just said, let's bring the arcade game home.
SNK, I think, believed that they could sell a premium product at a premium price and make money doing that because, at the time, the Neo Geo was just light years beyond what any other console could do. It was a truly arcade-perfect experience in the home. There's absolutely no difference.
But the downside was it had the price tag to boot.
To market the AES, SNK starts an aggressive advertising campaign and goes after the competition.
Neo Geo was a very expensive system. It was $600 for the machine. It's $250 for the cartridges. It was obviously too high for anybody to afford. Kent Russell, who was the VP of marketing at the time, knew that, straightforward marketing just wasn't going to work. So what he did is he came up with a very controversial ad campaign and just went after everybody.
Some of our advertising back then got criticized, or at least it was definitely, provocative for its time.
And one of his first ads, which is pretty famous, or infamous even, is the weenie ad where he calls everybody a weenie if they played the Super Nintendo or the Sega or anything. He said, why play with those limp systems? Be a hot dog like the Neo Geo.
Because we knew our engine was stronger. It was the most powerful engine available, and we wanted to advertise that. So the advertising really was